Hello, everyone, and we are back for another episode of Lip Gloss and Ladders. I'm your host, KB, and I'm here with my lovely co-host. How you doing today, Gabby?
I'm good. How are you, girl?
I'm doing good. It's Sunday. It's almost November.
That's scary, right?
I know, right? This year just flew on by. How you doing, Reese?
I'm doing great. I have
I'm
you.
happy. Happy that you're here too. And as you see, we are missing one today. Shout out to Ashley. She'll be here next week. Sending love. Sending love, sending love, sending love. So, on today's episode, we're going to start a new series called The Diva Dive. And with The Diva Dive, we're just going to go back in the past and just talk about the women from the Attitude Era. And, back then, a lot of people used those times that the women was out as bathroom breaks. But I'm going to explain to you why this was something I actually enjoyed. Now, Gabby, did you like just change the channel or go to the bathroom when a woman came out?
Never, never. I was locked in. Actually, I was more locked in when the women were on than when the men were on. Honestly.
Same here, same here. I actually was more of a women's fan than watching a man. What about you, Reese?
Same. I was a women's fan. I wasn't really a fan of like the Rampage matches and things like that, but I still was locked in. When I made the switch back over to WWE, I was still locked in. I was like, oh, my girls.
Yeah, I think it's just me being a girls. It's just like, oh, the women are fighting. Let's see what's going on here. So definitely was tuned into the women more than the men. So the first diva that we are going to dive into is Tori. And when I say Tori, I don't mean Tori Wilson, but I mean Tori from the Attitude Era, who was a part of DX, who managed Kane, and she had her own rivalries as well. Now, do either of you remember Tori before this episode?
I gotta be honest. You bought her up and bought up a hidden memory. I was like,
Same.
oh
Definitely, definitely. So I'm just hoping that this can bring up other hidden memories when people listen. So I'm going to go into some fun facts. But before I go into fun facts, do you remember anything before today's episode other than unlocking a hidden memory?
I remember her being in DX.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is about the extent of my knowledge, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think she was most known for being in DX, but she has done more before joining a faction of D Generation X. So here are some fun facts. In WWE, she was trained by Triple H and Al Snow. She traveled with Ivory, China, Triple H, Blue Meanie, Perry Saturn, Al Snow, Big Boss Man, and Terry Runnels. She was also a trainer during the Tough Enough series, and she's featured on 4 video games: Dirty F No Mercy, Dirty F WrestleMania 2000, SmackDown, and SmackDown Know Your Role. And outside of wrestling, she enjoys yoga and body paint. As you can see, some of the things she has done, like some of her photo shoots, she is in body paint.
hmm
So that goes into like what she's into. I like that. That's just a little creative and a little different to me. So just to go into history before going into WWE, she was a bodybuilder, and that's how she got discovered.
Hmm.
And with her being a bodybuilder, she ended up wrestling in Japan, and that's where she was trained. She was known as Terry Power, which is her real name, Terry, at All Women's Wrestling. And you can find videos on YouTube. So, with that being said, she did injure her shoulder in Japan. And she ended up getting, I believe, bolts or screws put in her shoulder. But we're going to put a pin into that because we're going to come back to that injured shoulder later on. So after leaving Japan, she came to WWE. And with WWE, her initial feud was with Sable. Now, she debuted on an episode of Raw on December 28th, 1998, as a fan of Sable's. And at the time, Sable was feuding with Luna. And with that, like I said, Tori was watching. She gave Sable a rose and was escorted out. Soon then, Tori came back out and helped. She actually attacked Luna and then eventually helped Sable win the women's championship or retain it in a strap match. Then after that, Sable was like, "Okay, who are you?" and just started belittling her, talking down her to where it got to the point where Luna came out to help Tori, even though Tori, you know, then jumped on Luna, helped Sable win the matches, and all that mumbo jumbo. So then the next episode of Raw, um, Tori came out with Luna, and then Sable came out.
Watch that.
What'd you say?
I said, "Oh, I watched that."
Yeah, silly. Luna came out with Tori, basically, checking Sable like, how can you do this to a fan? You should be kind to your fans. Sable came out, Luna and Sable got into it, and Tori still jumped Luna. Why, I do not know. It's like, okay, you belittling me, and the person who I was helping you out helped me out. So now, I don't know. That was just I just feel like I just can't be going back. That's just
Can't
me.
help everybody.
You can't help everybody. You can't. Which leads to Tori's first match against Luna, and she ended up losing. And Sable like, I just gave you a chance for nothing, and eventually just jumped Tori after the match, which leads to Sable. I think the next couple Raw, she debuted her Playboy magazine, so she's becoming the heel, the big headed, and Tori was like, you know what, I want to stand up to you, and I want to challenge you to a match, which she did at WrestleMania 15. And with that, that's when Sable debuted her bodyguard, Nicole Bass, and Tori lost the match. That kind of ended that feud a little bit. It kind of had little matches there, but I felt like that was the end of the story at that point. But Tori mentioned that she had no problem working with Sable. There are people who said that Sable was difficult backstage, but Tori stated she didn't have any issues, but a lot of things had to be run by her first. And Tori being the person that she said that she plays along with the politics, she just goes with the flow. I could see why she didn't have any issues with Sable. She just there to do her job and keep it moving. So with that, do you think anything could have, well, eventually Sable left the company, so I don't think anything else could have gone further with Tori and Sable.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
problem with it. Like when they have these situations, like they're so one-sided that like you're not able to like pivot it to something else, or like they just literally gave them like, okay, here is your storyline. This is it. When it ends, it ends. You know what I mean? There's no like transition to like other things, into
Yeah.
other feuds. It's weird.
And I think a part of that is because it's the women. I feel like once I
For
get
sure.
into the Jackie feud, which is next, because that didn't really have a story to me. It was just they were fighting on Sunday Night Heat. Well, I'm getting into it now. They were fighting on Sunday Night Heat, and Terry, being a part of PMS, helped Jacqueline a few times, and that was that. It was like no story to it. So it was just like, okay, we just gonna throw y'all out there because y'all here. Where is this
Yeah,
gonna go?
I get that vibe from a lot of the old Divas feuds.
Yeah, just
I do,
wrestle and
I
call it a
do,
day.
do love a fan storyline. I do love that.
I
I,
definitely
Mm-hmm.
love a fan storyline.
I do love a fan storyline. You know, Vicky James did it. Santino kind of did it with his um, debut as a fan. I love fan debuts for some reason.
I do too. I love the mentor mentee feuds.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
hmm That's why I was a big fan of NXT, the original iteration of NXT.
got you, got you.
OG.
hmm
Oh yeah,
Pros and rookies. I love stuff like that.
Right?
definitely. So I think that's why the Tori and the Sable feud had my attention, because it was like, oh, it went from fan to now we're fighting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So as I said before, like she feuded with Jackie next, but it wasn't a story to it. They just had matches on Sunday Night Heat for the most part, and that was that. Which I feel like that could have been done. It could have been done better, but I really just think because due to the timing and how they didn't really want to put women out there as wrestlers, they just like, here, just go catfight and call it a day. So Tori went away for like a hot second, and then in July of 1999, she started doing video packages, and then eventually came out to fight Ivory. who just had a match with, I believe it was a local wrestler, because Ivory was doing like the weekly challenges for the women's championship belt. And one thing that about Tori and Ivory, Tori stated that Ivory was very creative, so she
Mhm.
enjoyed the feud with Ivory. And with the feud, now this one had a story to me. It just basically Ivory like, can't nobody beat me. All these women out here are sluts. Y'all have nothing on
Mhm.
me. Cool. Tori came out. Tori came out. They had their feud. There was a couple times where Ivory stripped her because, of course, the Attitude Era, these women had to get
Of
naked,
course.
right?
We
Right?
had to.
Had to.
Mhm.
They had no choice. So eventually, when SmackDown debuted, the first match, the women's match was Tori and Ivory, and Tori wanted to come out there naked because, as I said before, with Ivory just taking her clothes off, she even wrote "slut" on her back at one point. So Tori was
That was
like, "You,
her.
Mhm.
yep,
See,
You're
unlocking
unlocking
memories.
memories,
I'm
right?
like, oh
You're
my god, that
unlocking memories.
was
yep." Ivory wrote "slut" on her, and just kept trying to strip her every chance she got, to the point where SmackDown debuted. Tori was like, "I'm coming out there with no clothes on." The official was like, "No, you not," and threw a shirt on her and called it a day. Called it a day.
You thought. She said you
her.
thought.
Oh, you thought.
You ain't
We all
coming out here like that. We could do a little tease, but you can't come out there fully naked, ma'am. Sorry. We ain't about to get cut off the TV. We ain't about to get cut off what was it? CN at the time? Yep, CN. No, UPN actually.
oh,
Yeah.
SmackDown.
Yep, UPN. Yep, SmackDown.
Mhm.
So eventually this led to the first ever women's hardcore match, their feud. This was September 6th, 1999, and this was on Monday Night Raw. And once again, Tori is in a t-shirt. They fought in the bathroom, they fought in the shower, they fought behind the scenes, and eventually Ivory won by hitting Tori in the head with a mirror. Now, fun fact, Ivory wasn't supposed to pull that mirror off of Tori, but she did. I think Ivory was just so excited to be in this actual type of
Batman.
match that doesn't
A real
require,
match.
right, doesn't require evening gowns or pudding or stripping or anything like that.
Not pudding though.
Oh,
Listen, we're gonna get to
but
I
that pudding
know.
match in a
I
minute.
know. I'm gonna say I know it's coming. I know it's coming.
Also, that iron burn at the end of the match was a real burn. You can hear the sizzle
Mhm.
on her back.
Ugh.
ugh.
I know, right? It was. Whew. Now I can't handle a lot of stuff. I was able to take that, but that, woo, I could just imagine. Like, have y'all ever touched the iron accidentally before?
Mhm.
Yes. Yes, I have. Yes.
Yes, I
Yes.
literally grabbed the wrong side of the iron before.
Woo.
Like,
Same.
That's why I'm
Yeah,
like,
no.
I know how that feels.
so imagine Tori. They was already fighting in the shower, so she's wet and just a hot iron.
Moving on, because Gabby's
Yup.
getting a little grossed out.
Okay, we gonna move on. So that feud, basically ended. It was no real ending because I think Ivory went on a feud with Luna, but during their hardcore match, Tori interfered, and it ended up leading on to another women's championship match. And I believe Ivory retained that match. But it kind of, again, no real ending. So Tori went away for another hot second. End of October come around. You see her watching Kane and X Pac go against the Dudleys on Sunday Night Heat. And then she's watching Kane again the next night. And she's telling X Pac, why don't you go help him? That's your tag partner. So you can sense then that X Pac is going to
Mhm.
turn. Because eventually he came out to help. But then the next week he did turn on Kane. So following that, Tori checked X Pac for turning on Kane. The next thing you know, she became his girlfriend and valet. And with the feud with X Pac and the McMahon Helmsley faction, you know, doing what they do, they harassed Tori, they harassed Kane, and Tori had a match with X Pac because of that. Tori had a pudding match against the cat. Yeah, the pudding match was coming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Gotta
And of,
love.
and
Gotta
of
love
course, Kane continuously got jumped by DX. And eventually it led to a match. I believe it was Kane versus X Pac. And if Kane loses, Tori would have to spend Christmas weekend with X Pac. And that's exactly what happened. They spent the weekend together. She came back. She said everything was cool and fine. But all of a sudden, a guy come around. She gets paranoid and Kane fights him. So something didn't go right about that Christmas weekend. Okay.
Yeah.
We have a special guest.
I was gonna say I hear my friend.
Hey, nephew.
What up, though?
You want to talk about Tori too?
Okay.
He's like, what y'all doing here?
Right.
So eventually, um, I think Kane had another match, and he ended up being in a corner, tied down. X Pac told what really happened. But before going to X Pac, I think Kane, who all did Kane fight? I think he had a feud with Vincera over Tori, I think Mankind said some words to her as well. But as it led to back to Kane in the corner, X Pac told what really happened. He said they had an awesome night. It was way more than just dinner. And no, and X Pac said you can go do whatever you want to do. Tori walked away for a second, came back, kissed X Pac. Now, back then, I was wondering. No, back then I just thought like she just decided to go with X Pac. But now, just going back over everything, I wonder if this was a setup the entire time. It could be because it started
That
off
long-term storytelling, baby.
right. Think about it. It started off her watching X Pac and Kane. She's telling X Pac go help Kane. X Pac turns on Kane. Now she has this little feud going on. Next thing you know, she's with DX. I actually love this faction. My favorite rap song is with DX.
I love DX.
I see you got your T-shirt on.
Yes,
I
DX.
love DX. Favorite faction.
It's mine too as well. Like the different versions of it. When you think about it, it's amazing.
Not as convoluted as the NWO, but I love the NWO. But
See, I
No, at
didn't.
one point everybody was in NWO, so it kind of lost its like its flair, you know, like because literally
we had the
everyone
wolf
was in there.
outside. Yeah, I'm like, all right now, okay.
Wrap it up.
I think yeah, from going back and like doing quick looks, I did see there were like so many of them at one point. Was it I'm about to call him Cisco. Oh my goodness, Dennis Rodman.
Cisco? Oh, and the Baltimore and me just got crushed.
I know, right? And you know how much I love Cisco. How I get Cisco and Dennis Rodman mixed up. I think it's because of the colored hair.
Dennis Girl, but yes, Rodman was an NWO.
Yeah. But Cisco didn't have no face piercings. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I did that. You know how much I love Cisco. Okay. Crazy.
Also, like 3 feet tall, but like that's here nor there. That's here nor there.
Everybody from Baltimore has a Cisco story.
I mean, you have to. But that's here nor there. Sorry, go on with your. I'm not gonna do that today.
Maybe I need to come to Baltimore and get a Cisco story. Like
he's hanging out in Towson Mall, so it's like you can't get one. He's still there. He ain't gone. Shout out to Towson Mall.
I can't wait to visit. All right, back to Tori. So one thing I noticed with her being in DX and being with Kane, she didn't really have any matches. She had the one with X Pac and the cat, and that was mainly it. Mm-hmm. But when she was with DX, all she really did was manage. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because more and more women have arrived by then. And I want to bring this up as soon as I get to this part. So like I said before, she came out with X Pac, she came out with DX. She wore like the different green and black outfits. Cool. Her X Pac had that amazing entrance. I can remember that too. She was X Pac could do the usual X's, and then she'd just sit down and swing her hair. Right. So when it two things I noticed when Stephanie won the championship and when she defended the championship. When she won it against Jackie, she interfered.
Mm.
Yep, she helped Stephanie win by then. And then Stephanie had to defend the title. There was a women's battle royal. It was the Cat, Terry, Ivory, Jackie, and Lita. Lita won. Tori was a special guest referee, and Stephanie had to defend against Lita the same night. But what happened was Tori attacked Lita, did a move on Lita, and Stephanie rang the bell and took another and pinned Lita and won the match. Now,
Hidden memories, unlocked memories. I'm just like,
Unlocking, right?
I'm just like,
so this could have led to potential feuds between Tori and Lita, or Tori and Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only thing I say more so Jackie versus Lita because Lita was already having her little issues with Trish, which also Trish also helped Stephanie defeat Tori. I mean, Lita. Trish and Tori helped Stephanie defeat Lita on separate occasions. Now, this could have been a separate feud with Jackie because it was like, okay, you helped me. You the reason why I lost this match. It could have been something, but I think because it was the Attitude Era, women's matches going, other stuff was going on. Like you had the Cat and Terry had a little cat fight situation. I just don't think that Vince wanted so many women out there at one time because that could have been a potential feud between Tori and Jackie. It was, I think, mostly Jackie and Ivory was in the back most of the time because, like I said, they had the
yep.
cat fights with Terry and Ivory, and then Lita and Trish were starting to get more TV time.
Mm-hmm.
But could you see
There's
that?
always a hater. There's always
Oh,
I
a
know,
hater.
right?
yes.
I know, right?
Never seen
So
her.
if you could see Tori and Jackie starting up another feud, do you think it would have had more of a story to it, or you think it would have been just how it was, just them fighting just weekly?
Think now that you put in stipulations, not stipulations, but like circumstances to where she actually cost her something, that we could have had a great feud with that. We could have had a lot of great feuds with a lot of women. It was so when you did your poll, I was like, wow, all these women, they were here all the same time, but yet
Mm-hmm.
they were not
They
used.
were. They were. They were not
Like
used.
they were not used, and some of them not never winning titles to me was insane.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Insane.
Absolutely. Like Luna was well deserved, but that's a whole different episode for a different day. I'm going to keep saying that she deserved the title. Like for all the
Mhm.
time she's in WWE, she did not have not one title run.
All right, peach the queen.
Rest in peace. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah. Very unfortunate. Yeah, there was a lot of women that were just misused, mishandled, not used, not even misused, not used.
And then when they have multiple women, it'll be a bikini contest.
I was gonna say, and then when they did have the women, they still didn't use them for like to their purpose. It was still like, hey, here's some pudding and a
A
kiddie
Gravy Bowl
pool.
match.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Right.
Crazy ball.
Right.
Like
and,
fight
it,
mashed potato, please.
and and with Tori having experience, like I don't think she was still a little green. If you watch her matches, you could see she was still green, but she still had some experience to where she could have put on some matches. But
Yep.
during that time, it was like
Also,
no.
like you get better by repetition by doing it. So like imagine like yes, she
Mhm.
was not out here like killing it like you would say like a Bianca is right now, but even Bianca had to like, pay her reps, pay her dues to get there. So like you given the opportunity, who knows?
Right.
Practice makes perfect. You can't just. I mean, yeah, practice makes perfect, but you still need that practice in front of a crowd. You need to
Mm-hmm.
learn the WWE because, like, she was trained in Japan. It's a different style than the WWE style. Yeah,
Whole different style.
right. So it's just like
Truly.
she didn't get a chance.
She didn't. She had the one feud with Sable, then she did the stuff with Ivory, the little small stuff with Jackie, then she just became valet.
Yeah, she definitely made the best of her time, but she should have got more.
Should have. She definitely should have. And at the same time with her being DX, they end up feuding with the Dudleys, and this is at the time where Bubba Ray's putting everybody through tables. So of course, Tori was a target. So the King of the Ring, there was, I think it was supposed to be a handicap. X Pac, Road Dogg, Tori versus the Dudleys. Now, remember I said her shoulder injury from Japan the
Mhm.
night before King of the Ring. She ended up injuring her shoulder again at a house show. The bolts came out, so she's
Mm.
back injured, but she still participated in King of the Ring. I give her props
Ooh.
because I would have been like,
Woo!
Yes.
take me out today.
I got a stiff neck. I work from home. I still be want to call out with a stiff neck.
No, for real. Like, girl.
So,
Anything hurt. Anything hurt. I'm in the bed. Like
wrestle
you
with bolts out of your shoulder? Absolutely not.
you went out there the next night.
Ooh, ooh.
Now, if you go back and watch the King of the Ring when she got put through the table, you can see she's holding on to her arm. You can see because at first I didn't notice it until I learned that she injured the night before. When I went back, you could see how she's holding on to her arm. She got her forearm up, but Bubba Ray protected her, made sure he didn't make it worse by putting her through the table.
Mm.
That is one thing about Bully, Bubba, whatever you want to call him the day of the week, is that he feels pretty safe. Like, he very much protects his people. Like, if he's got you in a spot,
Mhm.
like, for the most part, Bully Ray, I mean, he brags on he's never hurt anybody before. Like, he wrestles very protected, especially if he knew like that she had this injury. He was going to do everything he can to like nail the spot, but also protect the person taking the hit. So that actually doesn't shock me that Bully Ray is the one that did it, to put her through that table.
Honestly,
Yeah, if he never injured anybody, I would definitely brag about that too.
Mm-hmm.
if you
I
trusting
give
to
you
put, yeah, you trusting to put 105-year-old May Young through a table, I
Yo, that's such a
Listen,
funny story because apparently, like, he didn't want to do it, and like he kept like trying to like do it softer and like not put her through, and she was like, "Bully, you treat me like you treat everybody else. You put me through that damn table." And he said, "All
was like,
right,"
all
and he put her like, but he
you
kept like trying to protect and like not like hide the
mm-hmm.
force and all the things. And she was like, "Hey, listen," she said, he got in his face like, "Hey, listen, you put me through that table," and he was like, I had to put her through the table, and he did put her
Yeah,
through the table. Everything ended up being fine, but like even then, he was like, "I don't want to do it," and she was like, "No, you're going to do it."
you right.
listen. May Young was out here
Giving birth to
fooling,
hands.
right? Like,
Forgot about that one too, right? Yeah, yeah. That was
listen.
a
I'm
thing.
laughing at the
that
segment that they did when he was all grown up. Like,
that was a thing, and it happened.
oh my goodness. Oh,
That
sorry.
happened.
Give
Oh,
her
the
her
attitude
flowers.
era.
Listen, for her to be up in age and she still wanted to do stuff. I,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am,
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
just had me watch on the side. Like, give her props too, cause she's going to that table.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, I've been on this earth 100 years. I'm fine. Put me to that table.
If this is how I go out, this is how I go out.
Right, right.
I'm
I'm
fine.
going out happy at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Doing what she loves.
So with Tori's injury, that shows like the wellness policy was not enforced back then because
Correct.
they would have made sure she was. You have to be 100%, not just
Mhm.
having bolts in your shoulder. You got to be completely healed and able to use that shoulder if anything. Um, Unfortunately, due to her injury, she was supposed to feud with China Eddie Guerrero with X Pac, but because of her injury, the feud went to Trish and Val Venus.
Hmm.
I think that feud would have ate
It
It
would
would
have
have
absolutely.
100%.
because China and Tori were friends. Yeah, they had a good relationship
Mm-hmm.
backstage.
Ooh,
You didn't know that.
no. See, I didn't know a lot of stuff about this. I was just learning about. I'm like, and
Yeah.
again, it's unlocking all these memories where I'm like, that was Tori.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Tori and China had a good relationship backstage. China is the one who told Tori, do not click up with anybody. It's best to be a loner.
Especially back then.
Yeah, back then, definitely. It's best to be a loner and just do what you got to do. So yeah,
We hear big.
I
Big
figured
is
y'all
just
Swore
so
like
did.
he
sad.
got
He
3
sounds
jobs.
so sad.
Listen, Big worked 3 jobs and go to the doggy strip club. He know what to play with y'all
His
today.
books, is he sleep?
Yes,
He
That is
snore.
him snoring?
yes.
Biggie snore like a pit bull.
I thought Big was in pain. Like I thought Big was like whimpering, trying to get your attention. Like I didn't realize Big was asleep. But we hear Big. Hi, Big.
Yeah, that's why Reese is laughing. Yeah, Big snore like a grown man,
Clearly,
Yeah.
but he moving now because we talking about him.
you know, you know,
He was like, "Did I hear
our bad,
snap?"
bro. Right. You got treats. What's happening? I heard a T word. I heard a T-
Oh my god, it's funny. He's going like a pit bull. Great Dane.
Listen, that's my baby. Y'all got me laughing at this. I'm used to it, so I can tune it out.
I was like, what is happening right now? Sorry, Big. Our bad. Back to what we were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on my lap, just snoring like yeah. Back to Tori. So yeah, due to injury, she couldn't feud with China. Like I said, that feud, I think that feud would have ate,
Mm-hmm.
and that would have gave her
Honestly.
more practice to become a better wrestler.
Absolutely, because China can go.
Mm-hmm.
And China
Yeah.
would have made it look good too. Especially if they're friends. Like you don't make your friend like you don't go out there and squash your friend, right? Like
Right.
Right. Because China didn't want to wrestle women, so with her going to this feud with Tori and them having a friendship,
That's
it
right. If
would.
I'm going to be with a woman,
Got
I'm
my
going to.
true spot falling. Today is today in, okay?
Stay on the board.
Right, we're gonna do an episode on you soon.
right. She was like, wait a minute now.
Wait, my fuse ate too. Okay.
Period.
Hold up, dog.
I'm gonna get into church soon, very soon. So Tori went away. She came back at the later on that year at the end of October on Monday Night Raw. She went to WWE New York, and I always wanted to go there. I was hoping it would have been there by the time I would have went to New York, but they closed that down.
That did not last long at all.
Yeah, I would have loved to go, but she she debuted. She came back. She had a haircut. She was rocking that bob at this point. Cut her hair. Listen, I love me a good bob. Okay, listen, a
Yes, Edna.
bob just might go back one day. Might go back, but she basically said to X Pac, "You didn't stop the Dudleys from putting me through a table," and basically just dumped them. And then we didn't see her again until the following year. Now, we didn't know it was her at first. It was a storyline with Raven, Molly, and Crash Holly, and there was a ninja who constantly kept helping Raven.
Unlocking memory.
Not
Listen,
this ninja.
ninja. And then at the end of, I believe this was Sunday Night Heat, at the end of March, Molly Holly took that mask off and it was revealed to be Tori. And we haven't seen Tori since then. But kind of find out, her and Raven were not getting along because of the storyline. And it was because she pubbed it. So she pubbed it and got the green light. And I think Raven was just not for it. And them two had issues.
Mm.
So yep. So I would have loved to see where this would have went after her getting unmasked. Like with
Again,
a few with Molly Holly.
for sure. She would have definitely been in good hands then too. Especially
Mm-hmm.
with Molly.
Exactly.
Especially with Molly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. Definitely that would have been a good feud. But another one cut short. Tori has been in a lot of feuds that just been cut short,
So I'm
unfortunately.
noticing a pattern here.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely. Definitely a pattern. Just keep getting cut short. So she ended up doing Tough Enough. Um, and then after doing Tough Enough, she got released in September of 2001.
Short time. It seemed
Hmm.
longer than I thought though. Very short, but like longer than I thought. 'Cause,
Yeah.
again, hidden memories. I
From
was like, wait,
99 to no 98 to 2001. That was a good what 4 years? No.
mm-hmm.
Am I over no 3 years over counting. 98, 99,
Yeah.
3, 4 years. Now, so with just going over this Tori from the beginning to now, and even her having experience as a trained wrestler before going into WWE, do you think she was misused?
So
Absolutely.
as as many women were, and you want to blame it
Mhm.
on her shoulder, but you can't.
I was gonna say the problem is that like she injured her shoulder in NJPW, or I'm sorry, in Japan. Like it wasn't like it was and it seemed to have healed itself. So it sucks that it came back to hurt her. But I feel like that's, like you said, an excuse that they use about her shoulder. But like you also really, you had opportunities where she could have shown her work, and unfortunately, she was wrestling in pudding. So whose fault is that really?
Right.
Pudding is crazy.
I don't think she ever
Pudding.
did a. I don't think she ever did a bra and panties match. She didn't do a bikini contest. But yeah, wrestling and pudding. That was her.
I mean, I think she didn't have to at that point. She wrestled in pudding. Like you can't degrade me any more than making me wrestle in pudding.
Pudding is crazy.
Oh
Well, no,
yeah, or coming out in a t-shirt and a thong. Basically, that was another
Yeah.
one.
Ugh.
gotta love the attitude era. It's like it's WWE has had this like history of just not using the women, and the women that they do, they follow a certain pattern.
Hmm.
Um,
Even with the trained wrestlers, like they,
looks were valued. I mean, Tori's a beautiful woman. She was
Absolutely.
eye candy. Like she definitely was eye candy. But they're like, you actually can do this? No, no, thanks. No.
right.
It's
Yeah.
crazy because she was gorgeous and like she's honestly Vince's type, right? Like we all know Vince like some tall, pretty blonde, and like she
Mm-hmm.
literally is. That is him.
Embodiment.
But she did have more muscles than other women. Do you think that could have played a factor as well?
Possibly, now that you mention it. Yeah.
Possibly. But Sable was kind of stacked too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to give
Like
another look
Definitely
at
stacked.
Sable.
Sable was stacked. And I know, well, China was like at that time, kind of like the ninth wonder of the world. Like she,
Hmm.
women didn't have bodies like China. So of course they pushed China because she looked a little bit more masculine. That's why they made her fight men. And all that fun stuff. Well, she didn't
So,
want to fight women,
eh,
but they didn't make
she
her.
didn't. Yeah, she didn't want to fight women. But Tori was also not as built as China, but she was up there. I think if you look
Hmm.
at her past photos, she lost a lot of muscle mass when she got into WWE.
Yeah, like standing next to Luna, she didn't look like a twig. So
Right.
yeah. So like standing next to Luna Vachon, who is a, a muscular woman, like she didn't look out of place like next to her.
Hmm.
She looked like she
Yeah,
belonged there. Tori looked like she belonged there.
right. She did.
And it's
She
like
looked. She held her own. She held her own. She held her own.
I just think it was she fell a victim of the times. Unfortunately, she was ahead
Unfortunately,
of her time. She was ahead of time, much like a lot of the other women. Like that's why Ivory had such a difficult time. Luna had such a difficult time. Like they did push Ivory, I think, out of like respect, but
Ivory was like, "I'm not for these matches.
yeah, I
I'm
think they
not."
pushed her out of respect. She was like, "Look, I've been doing this. I was a pivotal point of a wrestling community before this, so treat me like treat me like you have some sense."
Right.
And I think with
Indeed.
right, and I think with Tori, like she said, she didn't go against the grain. Really, she didn't really, want to cause any tension. Which again, a lot of the wrestlers didn't. You took what you were given. They looked at it as like I should just be appreciative of the time that I am given. It kind of seemed like all of her stuff was like cut short, and I think again, that's definitely a pattern with a lot of women's storylines because a lot of their storylines in general back then just got cut. It would be like, oh, why are these two beefing again? Oh, okay. Like, so
Yeah,
unfortunate.
it's like she played with the politics, but unfortunately, when she did pub an idea, which I think was it could have went somewhere with the ninja, it just led to issues in the back, and unfortunately, led to her being released.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with Tori being one of the women that never won a title, do you think she could have been a champion?
Absolutely.
100%.
I think
100%.
she could have had a title run, even if it was a short run. Like,
Mm-hmm.
could have done something.
Yeah, for sure. Give it like a run at the hardcore title. Like if she was gonna be with Crash and Molly Holly, I could have even seen like a storyline where it was like, oh, well, I'm gonna fight Crash. Like
Yeah, if she's
even
taking table shots, might as well.
yeah, they did the first women's hardcore match, which again hidden memory, like unlocked memory, like
Mm-hmm.
History making. That
literally
was
a history making, literally.
women's hardcore match for sure. They didn't really um hit each other with chairs and stuff, but that taking that iron and going back to that real quick, but
She's
and
doing all
getting
this
hit in
stuff
the
on
head,
camera.
getting hit in the head with the mirror though, like the glass shattering. Like
Bro,
So,
an iron to the back while being wet.
crazy.
yes, absolutely.
It's like putting water in a hot pan. If you could.
No, for real. Oof, baby.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I did for it.
I give her flowers for that because I would have been like, no.
Yeah, for sure. Like I do think though she had the potential, and you could see that maybe WWE did respect her by making her a coach on Tough Enough. Like
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so, I agree. But
absolutely.
can't make a sandwich with breadcrumbs. So you can't make a sandwich out of breadcrumbs. So she did the best she with what she was given, which is probably why she's the forgotten diva essentially.
Absolutely, because I feel like when Tori Wilson came in, when you say Tori, you think of Tori
Because
Wilson.
you had sent me. I remember you sent me a picture when you first what Tori up. You sent me a screenshot, and I said Tori, and I was like, Tori Wilson not 60. She's
I
like,
was like,
that's not
you gotta look
Tori,
below.
girl.
Not that Tori, this Tori. Because it's like when you even if you Google WWE Tori, it will look up Tori Wilson for you. Like you gotta
Mm-hmm.
you gotta dig deep.
Like, you think also that could have been it? They had signed Tori Wilson at that time. She was more
Yeah, she
the
was.
flouncy,
Sure.
like, which also
That could be it.
I think so
But
for
Tori
sure.
Look at her
Wilson
gears turn. Like, look at her gears turning. Like, I can see your gears turning, KB.
because
But we got the
I
Tori.
was thinking because with Tori Wilson, they wanted to give her the women's championship. She said no though.
Hmm. I can
Yeah.
see that because she said she didn't feel like she didn't deserve it, right?
Yeah. It was yeah, she felt like she didn't deserve it. So they
Other
didn't give it
women
to her.
there. I'm loving that though.
She came at the end of the Attitude Era though, but she was mostly there during the Ruthless Aggression Divas phase, where they really wasn't wrestling in. Like the Attitude
Really
Era
was
women, the Attitude Era did give some matches,
barely, like
barely a,
barely.
a squeak,
It's
but
sweet here and there. They got like 3 minutes, maybe
mm,
4.
mm, including the entrance.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. That inspired the Divas timer. We used to start timing the Divas matches. Like it's just I don't know. The
That's
women
crazy to
women
have.
now it's hard for them to get over. Not over, but on the show. Now I think Triple H has been listening to us. I like to say that he listened to our show. Um So Triple H, if you're listening, hey pops. Um,
Not Pops.
hey Trips. Um,
Hey, Unc.
because as soon as like we said something about it, I'm like, okay, we're getting some time. Okay.
I'm definitely loving where the tag division is going for sure. Is they doing on every Raw, SmackDown, NXT? It's something.
Finally,
So
yeah, I think we kind of like have kind of broken that
finally,
mold a
but
little
yeah,
bit. But once Vince gets a new toy, once Vince got a new toy, once Vince got a new toy, it was like the old one was like thrown away. Because like, oh, we
Immediately.
have
I
someone
agree.
that kind of does this, and I like them a little better. So bye.
Yeah,
Like
because I believe when Sable quit, I believe Trish took her place.
for sure,
Absolutely.
another blonde with big boobs.
Mm-hmm.
Right, right.
It's just like it's been a pattern from the very beginning.
I'm happy times are changing.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
same. Like, but it took so long for those changes to
It
happen.
did, it did, and we're still not completely there, but we way better than where we are.
Did Tori ever do any like indie stuff after her WWE run, or did she have to medically retire because of her shoulder?
I don't think she did anything else. She now owns a yoga studio.
Okay, her and DDP with the
I
yoga,
think
we love
I
that.
think yeah, she just turned 60 and she has a yoga studio. I
Oh,
think it's in Portland. I wouldn't mind trying to find and go
I
up
want to
there
look
with
like
her.
her when I'm 60.
Right, right.
Right?
No, Ivory looks good.
Ivory
That
has
look.
my heart. Okay, like, like Ivory, mother.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm. Ivory has my heart.
I feel like she's the natty of that, and we'll get into why natty of
Yeah.
her time, and we'll get into that once we do like a diva dive on Ivory.
Okay, wait. I'm excited
Definitely.
about this.
So, do you think Tori would have been Hall of Fame worthy?
Is she now? No.
If y'all could
Could
go to,
she have been?
if y'all
Yes.
put the jailbird in, y'all can put Tori in.
Who?
There are a
I don't
lot
even
of
know
people
who it
that
is.
should not be in the Hall of Fame that are in the Hall of Fame. So that being said, yes.
Mhm. That is
I'm
Yeah,
not gonna go into names because I think we all can name several, but I'm just gonna keep it as there are a lot of people
I,
in the Hall
I'm
of Fame.
thinking of 3.
I can name like 6 off of my head without even thinking about it that don't deserve to be there. So if
Yeah.
they can be in there, then why not?
okay. So, when DX got into the Hall of Fame, do you think she could have been a part of that, or could because we asked for just a solo, but now as a part of DX, because she was in DX for a few months, but I feel like she
Yeah,
kind
but
of
when
made
you
a
think
little
of
impact.
DX, when you think of DX, you don't naturally think of her. That's the
Tori.
only thing about it. Like
Mhm.
I'm not saying like yes or no, but I'm saying that if someone thinks when you think of DX, you don't naturally think of her. So that being said, I would say no, she didn't need to go in there with DX. I think she
Yeah.
was an appearance, like she made an appearance. Do I think that she made an impact in DX? No.
Mhm. I agree. I don't think so. Because if that's the case, then Tori Wilson would be a 2-time Hall of Famer.
I could see that because she was only in DX for a couple months. I think
Mhm.
most of 2000, and then when she got injured, she came back. She wasn't. I think DX. I don't know if DX was split at the time, but yeah, that was done. So it
Yeah.
was just like a little cameo. So she didn't really make much of an impact other than helping Stephanie re- win and retain the title.
Now I would like to see her in a Royal Rumble. Now that would be
To
something.
return,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like a little Royal Rumble, I can see that.
a little
I think
spot.
she can still go. She still does yoga. I feel like, and
She could have a spot where she's not like she ain't got to go like take a slam from Bianca Belair, but she can have like a little spot where she comes in and like clears a newbie and then gets eliminated immediately after by someone like
Yeah, I could see that. I wouldn't mind seeing her come back for a Royal Rumble appearance.
Yeah, I'm loving that the Attitude Era women are coming back into these Royal Rumbles and being able to actually wrestle. Like, for instance, Tori Wilson. I was like,
I'm
okay.
loving the fact that Jackie got a Legends contract.
Yes.
Get her flowers.
I think also WWE could probably bring her back into a coaching sense for sure. I think they should have probably. Like, she could have been an NXT coach for the women. I do agree there.
Yes, I feel like any little experience is still some experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. If they trusted they were tough enough.
Right.
Those who can't teach.
Right. Yep. Those who can't do teach. I agree with that one. So, do you think of if she would have not got injured or released, what do you think of potential feuds that she could have been in?
China for sure. Definitely would love to see that Jackie feud. Like you said, like I definitely would love to see that. More of Ivory.
Mhm.
If she did stick around, maybe a little later, maybe '02. I think that's it. As far as like, well, I really wish she got some flushed out feuds. Oh, that Molly Holly feud with 8.
Definitely. If she would have
Mm-hmm.
stuck around to '02, I would have maybe possible Victoria.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to see that. All things she said, Victoria.
Yeah. I think, let me see. I know, I'm about to say Jazz. Jazz helped Victoria a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about Professor's Food with Tori, but I know Jazz came in like '01.
Yeah, that's another one. Even though she gets a champion, she still didn't get enough time. That's another one. That's
Mm-hmm.
another one that I feel like the theme of the '90s was how can we misuse all the women? Um,
Facts.
Right.
like how can we? You're good.
The
How can
quicker
we
the better,
make you suck?
actually. The quicker the better.
Like you're actually good at this. How can we make you not good at this? How can we not reward you for being good at your job?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, let's put you in pudding to punish you for being good at your job.
Right. Put you
How
in
do you feel
pudding.
about gravy?
Oh.
Or
Mud?
not mud. Oh my god. If they would have did a mud match, I would have been like, come on now. I know they did Gravy Bowl, they did, but it's always bra and panties, bikini contests, evening gowns. Because what?
There was a mud match. I feel like there was
It was
one.
a
And I
snow.
feel like it was back then.
It was a snow money match.
Hmm. Wait, I'm gonna see. I think for some reason I'm recalling the SmackDown set in mud and people in a plastic pool.
There might have been when I wasn't watching, but it definitely was a
I don't
it
know
was
who
an
was. Don't ask me.
evening gown, and then there was another evening gown in a pool of water.
Fun.
Either way, this all sounds bad.
Like, we're gonna put you in a tight tearaway evening gown. But hey, water.
Don't that sound fun?
Don't that sound amazing?
It's going to entertain the
Like
crowd for sure.
throw
For
a
sure.
punch? Oh, I'm gonna yell at you. Vince will again pay for his crimes. Vince will pay for his crimes. Also, I guess a lot of that was the times. No one was. A lot of people wanted to just see the women take their clothes off. A lot of prepubescent boys.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I get that, but it was also thrown at them at first. So if it was just like,
Mm-hmm.
here are the women, what can they do? Because even back then, we had women who were having matches, and then these new set of women. Oh,
Yeah,
y'all can wrestle, but we're not gonna put y'all in matches. We're gonna put y'all in these type of matches.
they definitely reverted. I mean, regressed. They definitely regressed. Like, because you had Alundra Blaze, you had Luna
Yeah.
who came in that way, Bull Nakano. You had these people, and they were like, "Great, psych." Say, "Well, put these
Yeah.
hands on your feet real quick." Like,
Right. So,
Mm-hmm.
and Tori had a match with Boy in Japan.
really? Wait,
Yeah.
you sent that? You sent that in the thing? I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah, we could probably post a playlist in the description.
We should.
People can watch.
Absolutely.
We should definitely do it for this. That would be so cool. If people can be like, "Oh wait, I remember this," because that's how it was when you were mentioning things. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, we definitely reverted because you're right. I'm just thinking about what you just said. Definitely reverted because we went from, like I said, we had women who can wrestle. Because Luna was there in like '93, left, came back during the Attitude Era. Now she getting put in bikini contests. Now she got to make Sable look good. And she like, I didn't do this before. Like, what is this?
Mhm.
I had an actual storyline in Glow." Okay, like
Yeah.
I had actual storylines and characters, and like it wasn't just like the character work was something I think she probably wasn't used to because there was none for the women as far as it was always like, oh, you lost, so I get to have your woman. Like what?
Yeah. You get to
They
spend
were
the
like
weekend with
property.
somebody. What?
We were used like property.
Mhm.
So
That could have been another concept with the Tori X Pac Kane thing. You lost, so I take your woman.
fun. She don't have choices.
It's not up to her.
No,
that is
she's not.
terrible.
There's a lot of ownership back then.
Mhm.
Eek.
Absolutely not. That's trash. I'm so
Eek.
glad we pulled away from that.
Yes.
Because I remember during Vince episode, we didn't even say like what we did. Women, they would get free and they just do all these wild things. Terry didn't get free. Tori became a ninja at least.
Well,
At
Tori had to be a ninja.
least. I want to help you with matches. Yeah, caused issues with Raven, led to her. But here's what looked like in case you forgot.
That's fire. Shirt. That is fire.
Thank you. So that concludes our first Diva dive. We are going to have more soon.
Love that.
We love that.
Thinking of who we should do next.
Leave in the comments who you would like us to do in the Diva Dives. Let us know. We'll see if we can work our magic.
Right. All right. So, like I said, that concludes our today's episode. You can follow us at Lip Gloss N, the letter N letters on Instagram, and Lip Gloss Letters on Twitter. Gabby, where can they find you at?
You guys can find me at Charm City Gabby with 2 eyes on pretty much everywhere.
And Reese, where can they find you at?
I am at Genius Read on Instagram. It's in the corner there. Hopefully, it's on that side.
It's on that one, but it's fine.
That's all right.
Oh. For me, it's on that. One of them. That's how it's spelled. And then Reese watches wrestling on TikTok.
And then you can find me everywhere at Meticulous Key. And don't forget to put down that lip gloss and pick up that ladder. And we'll see you next time.